Yes, yeah, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the project competition sponsored by Community Support Connections and organized by Talent Makers. Yeah, it's really great to see a lot of familiar faces to join the competition again during their busy schedule, and really thanks to Community Support Connections to offer this amazing opportunities. And then without further ado, let's just quickly go through the agenda for today. Once again, we're going to talk about our sponsors and the project requirements and the competition schedules. Last but not least, we'll cover the Q&As. So yeah, I'll pass to either Pam or Natalie to go over the sponsors.
Sure. So we are a not-for-profit organization, and we do have 11 different programs and services that we provide. So we have, homemaking, home maintenance, yard work, telephone reassurance, friendly visiting, Meals on Wheels, transportation, gentle exercise. There's a whole variety of different services that we provide to mainly seniors, but also adults with disabilities. And we serve Kitchener, Cambridge, Waterloo, and North Dumfries. So it's a fairly big service area that we have. And really our mission is to enable people to live at home with independence and dignity. So for people living in their own home, we know that that's where they want to stay for as long as they possibly can. So the services that we provide are basic supports just to help those individuals to live at home for as long as possible. And so we're very excited. I was just saying to G that, we've created some videos in-house, but it's really great to get somebody else's perspective of what the programs are about and how they see the programs and services. So we're pretty excited to have some recruitment, because recruiting, Pam, maybe you can speak to this a little bit, is getting a little bit more difficult.
Recruitment has been a real challenge. Probably the last 6 months. We were doing not too bad during the pandemic, but there seems to be a lot of competition out there. People are really shopping around, I think, and we've been posting what we think are pretty amazing opportunities within the organization, but we don't get a ton of candidates. And we need to find, I think, more unique ways of attracting people to the work that we do, because it really is a very rewarding organization to work with, and we do make a true difference in the lives of our clients. And so I think that's what we need to maybe do a better job of illustrating to people who are considering working, with us or other organizations that provide similar services. And why are we the best? Why do you want to come to Community Support Connections?
Yeah, so this is the project requirement sites, right? So to students, you are going to make videos for these 4 sample positions. Well, also Pam and Natalie also send me the job descriptions, so I will share with you like after the kickoff. But these are the roles you will be focusing on creating the videos for. So I'm not sure, and then my questions to Natalie or Pam are, so for those positions, like how do they fit into the overall operation? So for example, I know you have a level of volunteers who's going to helping, like say for example, the Meals on Wheels, right? And you have the chef position is similar to maybe a driver position tier, right? So it's like these are paid positions, and then you have the organizational leaders like Pam, and then like naturally yourself, right? And then just wondering, maybe you can walk students through how these roles kind of fits into the overall operations. I guess that's one thing for students to understand the role better.
Sure. So a lot of the services that we provide are provided by volunteers. So for instance, our Meals on Wheels program, we have our own kitchen on site. So we actually prepare the meals hot every day and get them out the door, but it's the volunteers who actually deliver them to the clients. So they actually have the client facing role with Meals on Wheels. Then we have gentle exercise. So that is like a hybrid. So we have gentle exercise facilitators that we pay, but we also have volunteers who teach exercise classes. So they're 2 separate kinds of classes. The classes that we teach tend to be, I would say, to people who are less mobile. So people who need a little more maybe modifications or alterations. Maybe some of the exercises are done seated, maybe all of them are done seated. Whereas the classes in the community that are led by the volunteers are for much more active people. So the volunteers teach a different kind of a class. It's more energetic, I would say. It's more like a high energy class that they teach in the community, where we have our own staff who would teach in the retirement homes and places like that. So with home help, that is all done through what we call independent contractors. So they don't actually work for us, they actually work for themselves. So we recruit them and we screen them, and then we match them with clients. So it's actually a relationship between them and the client. So our job there is really just in the matching process, because the clients trust us to find somebody who they can trust to come into their home and do the work. So we do the recruiting, and then we match with clients for the yard work and the snow shoveling. So they actually aren't paid by us, they actually are paid directly by the client. And then the community connectors are our own staff, and they are the people who will first greet the client when the client wants services. So the client will call us, or a family member will call, or they'll be referred by a doctor or a physiotherapist or some other person in the community. And then the first person they meet with will be the community connector, who pre-pandemic would go into their home and do a home visit and spend about an hour there finding out what services they were interested in, how we could help them, what they really needed. Since the pandemic, that's been changed, and a lot of those intake appointments are done over the telephone. We're just starting to go back out in the community to do shorter visits. So we'll do some of it over the telephone, and we'll also do some of it in person. So it's sort of a hybrid model right now of how we get that information from the client. But for services like snow shoveling and yard work and homemaking, we want to see the living circumstances of the client, so we're better prepared to provide those services. So if I'm going to send somebody out to do yard work, I need to see how big your yard is. I need to see the work you actually need done before I can match you with somebody to do that yard work. So some of the yard workers, maybe they only cut grass, but you actually have some bushes you need trimmed, or some weeding you need done. So I need to know what person to match you with, and that's what the connectors would do when they're in the home. Similarly with homemaking or cleaning, they would see, okay, so you live in a 1-bedroom apartment, what is it you need cleaned? You need the bathroom cleaned, you need your sheets changed. So they will go through the whole process with the client, so that we know who to match them with for homemaking, and the homemaker is prepared when they walk in, knowing exactly what the client would like done. So we do provide services with paid staff and with volunteers, but the positions that you see here would all be paid. The only exception is the snow shoveling and the yard work would not be paid by us. All of the other positions would be paid by Community Support Connections. So you would be a Community Support Connections employee, but for the home help, the snow and the yard work, that would be an independent contractor. So we don't actually pay them. We only recruit and screen them, and then we match them with clients. I don't know if that's clear or not. Pam, any assistance there do I need?
I think that's pretty clear, Natalie. And just to clarify that, so the client is still paying for the service with home help, snow shoveling and yard work, but they're paying the person that we've matched them with directly. So there's no money that flows through us. It goes directly from client to independent contractor.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for more explaining these positions in greater details. I think that's really good information for students to digest. And so, well, I guess I can keep. Well, maybe have one more follow-up question. Right? So, when you're talking about the recruiting and challenges, so maybe can you speak about the potential competitors within the recruiting process? Who will be the kind of the other organizations that will be kind of steal away talents from your organizations? Like, I don't just steal, but that's just a word. And then what kind of characteristics are you looking for these candidates?
So I think that for the drivers, a lot of our drivers are retired. So we're actually fortunate that because most of the drivers are part-time and casual, so it's a part-time casual position, it's not a full-time position. So a lot of the people who come to us are retired, and they're really just looking for 15-20 hours a week. So it could be anything that would be the competition for us for those jobs, because they could work at Walmart, they could work anywhere because they've already retired from a full career and they're really just looking for something to keep them busy. So really they could apply to do any job. So that's pretty much a big one. For the gentle exercise facilitators, I would say a lot of the people that we get are right out of school. So they've just finished, some sort of a course on rec or physical health, or, they've gone to school for something related to exercise. And they're just getting out of school, and this is attractive to them because they can fit it in around other things. So this is also a casual part-time position. And so they can have other jobs and still have this job as well, which is actually in the field that they went to school for. So that's what's quite attractive to them. The other jobs, they could work in a retirement home as a rec and leisure person, or they could work at a gym and, teach exercise classes there. So there's a variety of competition for those jobs as well. The home help it's really people who want to be independently working for themselves. So it's not somebody who wants to be working for an organization. They want to work for themselves. They want the independence of being able to set their own schedule, set their own hours, go to the client's house when it's negotiated between them and the client. They want to get paid cash. So it's a completely different group of people. And so I would say, other sort of outside jobs or handyman jobs or things like that would be competition for us for that position. And then the community connectors, it really could be, a lot of those people come to us with like a degree in sociology or sometimes education, sometimes a BSW. Like there's a wide range of people who come in the community connector role, but for the most part, they come because of what we do. For most of these jobs, what draws people is what we do in the community and the people that we serve. So they love working in the community. They love helping people. They love serving other people, and they believe in what we do. So they believe in, trying to keep people at home for as long as you possibly can, independent in the community. And I would say that the people who stay at Community Support Connections are the ones who completely identify with our mission and our vision and our values. And they stay because they really believe in what we do.
Right. Yes, I think that's very important. Like to share the mission, the vision. When you do throughout the recruiting, right? So people believe in your values will join your organizations and then prefer your organization to other, say, similar jobs, right? And then
Right.
So the next question will really be: so now you are requesting all the students to to making some videos for these 4 jobs, right? So what kind of contents are you looking for these 4 roles? I know, yes, like say in duration like 2 minutes or 1 minute, and then talking about the jobs or something like inspiring.
Pam,
Kind of
do you
time.
have goals there for what you want in these videos?
I think it would kind of be a balance. So I think probably the videos that do best really highlight who our clients are and feature our clients, because that really puts a face to who we serve, and discussion about what a difference that service makes in people's lives and why it's rewarding, by tying it to that mission and values. And so I think there's, those are all the things that we try and hit on when we're recruiting. And, we try to express that when we have a posting. We kind of have, a preamble to all of our postings about what this job means. I think it's very different when you can see that visual, client and hear them talking about the difference that it makes. So I think that is probably, what's worked really well for us in the past with some of these other videos, G, that weren't working, but that you sent the link to. So you'll see kind of how we focus on that. So it's kind of really getting to the heart of matters and, focusing on this keeps people at home. If our clients didn't have the services that we provide, they would be in long-term care or retirement communities. And that's not where they want to be. They want to be independent at home. We know they're healthier. there. We know they're happier there. And, I think too, given the pandemic we've just been through, they're probably safer there as well. So
I think it
that's-
would be, sorry, Pam.
no, go ahead.
I think it would also be effective to have like maybe a short clip from one of the people who actually does this job, just saying why they do it, and why they like it, because I think that will resonate with people as well. It's like, okay, well, what drew you to work here and why do you stay here, right? Because, people are changing jobs all over the place now. They're jumping ship and, but we have a lot of dedicated staff who have been here for a long time. And why is that?
Yeah, these are
I
great
think-
tips.
Sorry, just to speak to the length. I
Yes.
think most of our videos are around a minute, maybe a minute, 20 seconds. Like, I think we want people to watch it, right? And if it's too long, then people get tired and they're like, okay, that's enough of that. So I think in our experience, most of the videos that actually get watched are less than a minute and a half.
Right, yeah, like I have a feeling, well, when I first opened up the link, I thought, okay, oh, that's really short. And yeah, since it motivate others to watch the videos. And then these are really great videos. Okay, so yeah, I think logistically, well, I'm let me ask on behalf of the students, right? I guess they will have further questions. And so we have 2 rounds of, well, moving to the next slide. So we have 2 rounds of competitions, and mainly, so the preliminary run is just trying to helping the students to get on track. They say they are on the right track, and then make the videos that actually can be usable, right? So so we were speaking about like you need students to, well, you're not you're hoping to have some contents from the clients or from the volunteer or from the staff, right? So I guess somehow have to arrange for interviews or like job shadowings. I'm not sure about students availability, but I'm just thinking about options, right? So who should they contact to arrange for, say, offsite visit or maybe online interview, something like that?
Yeah, I think they should contact me because I can put them in touch with the manager of the particular program. I need to know what, which one of these jobs they're going to be doing a video for. And then I could put them in contact with the manager of that department, and they could work with that person to see what is the best way to either meet with a staff person, meet with a client, those kinds of things.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm probably the person.
Okay, thank you, Natalie. Yeah, so students, yeah, just remember, yeah. Well, I will share Natalie's contact information with you after the meetings. So yeah, with regarding to schedule, so and what's slightly running late, but I guess you should have time. So you have like I ideally want you to create each group to create the videos for the 4 positions, but just for the matters of time of your so if you can pick at least maybe 2 positions. Well, hopefully you can cover all, right? At least 2, and to create the videos, and then for the preliminary run, and then we can expand like maybe after the preliminary run. The final won't take place until the 17th, which is you still have 2 weeks to polish your videos and upload new ones. As long as your video styles or whatever the contents are kind of are useful and great, that would be great. Okay, so yeah, and then here is just format. So usually for the preliminary round, we just require like 10-minute video presentation. So I guess it'll just be talking about the videos you made, right? And then also a demo of the videos. And then for the final, it's usually the same format. And hoping you can just go through like how you're collecting your information and how you applying some analysis, trying to identify how to kind of target market, right? Because in the end, it's used for recruiting. So the target market are the people who are looking for jobs, right? And how to inspire them and then differentiate the organization from other companies by highlighting the values of the mission and visions. And then all these things to show you can put that into the final presentation deck, along with the final videos you made for the CSC. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much for the project kickoff. I know that Nancy have this agency slides. I'm not sure you want to go through that quickly.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah, we can run through. This is just like a regular agency presentation that we would do, if we went out in the community or that kind of thing, talking about our commitment to quality and service excellence. And so, you know, improving the health of our population, enhancing the experience of care of individuals. So it's not just about doing the job, it's about doing it well. It's about the way we do it and the fact that we actually care for people. And so we're not just, you know, somebody who comes into your home and rushes through what they have to do, but we actually have the conversation and spend time with the person and find out if there's anything else that they need. Reducing the per person cost of care. So we know that, you know, staying anywhere but in your own home is very, very expensive. Like to stay in long-term care, it's a lot of money. And every time somebody goes to the emergency department, it's very, very expensive and keeping people in hospital. So really the cheapest way to care for people is in their own home. And then workforce health and well-being. You know, we want people to love what they do. We want people to be having a good time while they're at work, to have professional development opportunities and have, you know, flexible work. And we have a benefit package. And, you know, we're concerned about the employee as well as the clients that we serve.
Okay.
I think the next one is just a bit about, just sort of goes through, you know, the history and in the, at the bottom where it basically says, you know, things we've done over the years. It talks about, you know, in beginning, it was a merger of 4 small agencies. So Community Support Connections was born in 2008 from the merger of 4 smaller organizations that all served seniors and adults with disabilities in the same community. So we thought, how much better, how much easier could we make it for clients if we were all under one roof and all had the same name and it was 1 phone number instead of 4 phone numbers to be able to access those services. So this just sort of goes through a bit of the history of Community Support Connections.
Okay.
So our mission, enabling people to live at home with independence and dignity. So we do have more than 700 volunteers. We have 600 donors. And we usually, every year, we help around between 6,000 and 7,000 clients in the community. The people we serve. So this is just a sort of an example of the reasons that people come to us. So caregiver relief, isolation, nutritional concerns, cognitive impairment, chronic illness. You can see that isolation and physical limitations are like the 2 biggest things. So that's the biggest reason why people come to us for our services in the community, because, you know, they need help to stay in their own home. And so we think it's really cool that we have, you know, every year we serve between 10 and 20 clients who are over 100 years old to live in their own home. This is just the service umbrellas. So it just shows sort of the variety of our services. So under nutrition, we do grocery shopping and Meals on Wheels. Under physical health, we have exercise classes and fall prevention classes. Social well-being, we have a caregiver support program. Before the pandemic, we had community meals. We don't have them at the moment. We do friendly visiting and reassurance calls and transportation. And then under help at home, home maintenance, homemaking, snow removal, and yard work. So those are all separate programs that are sort of encompassed by our services. Meals on Wheels, it's a pretty impressive number, 75,000, almost 76,000 meals served every year. That is a picture of our very own kitchen. So we built that kitchen in 2014. And it's our own chefs. So we have 3 Red Seal chefs that work in the kitchen. And we make our own menu, our own recipes, our own meals, and everything is homemade every day. So we're pretty proud of that. Grocery shopping, especially during the pandemic, this was huge. We had a huge spike in grocery shopping during the pandemic because people were afraid to go to the grocery store. So, you know, around 1,600 grocery shops. Some of them, generally we had assisted and unassisted. So we would take somebody to the grocery store and help them shop. We don't do that at the moment. Right now, it's all just us going to the grocery store and getting the groceries. So it's all one type of grocery shopping now, but we do hope at some point to get back to actually taking people to the store and helping them. This can be done by staff or volunteers. So we have both roles there. So volunteers can do it and staff do it as well, just because the demand is so high. Physical health, so 139,000 units of exercise and falls prevention. Pre-pandemic, we had 90 locations in Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, and North Dumfries, where we teach gentle exercise to seniors and adults with disabilities. So that's a lot of exercise happening every day. And it really, if you go to YouTube, you will see there's several videos on there about the exercise program. And you can see how much it matters to people and how it really helps them to stay independent in their own homes. I think you skipped social well-being, the yellow one. Yep. So community dining, like I said, right now we're not doing that because of the pandemic, but people would get together for a meal in the community. And this was basically to fight, social isolation so that they, had somebody to eat with, because often they're eating all alone every day. Caregiver support. So for people who are caring for a loved one at home, we have a program for them as well to try and help them to deal with everything that's happening in their lives. Friendly visiting and reassurance calls for people who are lonely in the community. We can match you with a friendly visitor who pre-pandemic would come and visit you once a week. But now that's all done over the telephone. So they're all telephone visits at this point, but people are still really appreciating that program and knowing that there's somebody who cares about them and who is going to call them up and have a conversation with them, and they can tell them, everything that's been happening in their life over the last week. And then rides, usually we do rides to medical appointments, day programs, and other important places that a client has to go. So if they need to go to the bank, or they have an appointment that's not medical, we'll try to meet that as well. But for the most part, we spend most of our time taking people to doctor's office, to physio, to the chiropractor, to counseling, to visit a loved one in retirement homes. And it's very difficult to meet the needs of the demand for those rides. Help at home. So we do home maintenance, homemaking, snow removal, and yard work. Lots of demand for every one of these programs. You can imagine that as somebody who's, between 70 and 100 years old, living in your own home, some of these things are very, very difficult. And so we have, like, as we said, we have independent contractors who we will match them with, who will come in and help them with each one of these things. And then this was just, we just talk about our volunteer program because, with 700 volunteers, it's a big part of what we do. So not everything is staff driven. A lot of these services are provided by volunteers. So, we need to talk about that. And then just recently we have a client and family advisory council. So we actually have 10 clients or family members of clients who we meet with every other month to talk about the programs and services and places where they see gaps, and talk about, some of our policies and procedures, and whether or not they're happy with the services they're receiving and how we could do a better job at that. This is just a direct quote from one of our clients. It makes all the difference in the world to live in my own home. To me, this setup here is making life worth living. So the fact that we have people who, we're making that big of a difference in their life is what keeps people here day after day. Even though your job may be tough, even though there may be days where, you had a really rough day and things didn't go well, in the end of it, you're making a difference in other people's lives. And I think that's the hook right there.
Yeah, thank you very much, Natalie, for sharing the background information about agencies. And so switching back to the kickoff, I think that's pretty much it. I just want to open the floor to students if you have any questions to Natalie and Pam. Oops. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? Yeah, don't be too shy, I guess.
Sean has his hand up.
Oh, Sean, go ahead. No. Sean, do you have a question?
Wait, what? Not me, I think.
Oh, not you. Okay. All right.
Okay.
It's also, yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, we'll have a chat group. But yeah, I guess are you guys all familiar with what needs to be done? And then the question, like Mark, do you have any questions? Or Yushan and the Frank, Hunter?
Actually, I have a question, but it's out of this our scope.
Yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
if you service like the people living, senior people living in their house, I think that's a good idea to make a website or something, or mobile app to connect all the stuff together, and instead of managing it by people.
No, I just want to introduce, I guess Mark's background is computer science, so he always has some process improvement ideas, right? Utilizing technology. That's why he coming from. Yeah, no, yeah, he's
Yeah,
doing
we
this
do have a
project.
website. You can look us up, Community Support Connections. We do have a website that describes all of our services and, you know, how you would go about signing up for those services, what the cost is, how you can volunteer, how you can donate.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about a booking system. Like, for example, I'm a senior and I live in house by myself. So if I'd like order something, for example, I needed someone to help to shovel the snow, and maybe I can just log in with my face and ask the question, and it will record into our app, and we will the app will find some matched people or person, so can accept this, and we can do it automatically.
That would be great, except that we really need to, so the reason we go out and do the home visit is because we really want to see, so how much snow are you talking? Do you need your sidewalk shoveled? Or do you have a, 80-foot driveway that needs to be shoveled? Or is it all around your house that needs to be shoveled? So part of the reason that we do a visit is that we need to see, what we're sending somebody in to do, so we know who to send, because some of the people that we recruit are high school students. So, they would be okay shoveling your sidewalk and maybe doing a bit of your driveway, but they don't have a snow blower, and they would be doing everything manually with their shovel. So we really have a variety of different workers with different abilities and equipment. So it's important for us to see exactly the work that needs to be done. But I love your idea.
Yes, even in the sample you are just saying, I think there's still we can get enough information, because this information won't change a lot. So we can get this information and we store it in somewhere, and we still can match with.
Yeah, I guess Mark, yeah, that can be a next project. Once we finish this one, we can get in touch with CSC to find out.
Yeah, he's ambitious.
Yeah. Well, we did some exciting project in the past of building a nutrition calculators for kids. Oh, I think Water Region. Yeah, so there's something relevant. Yeah, something we can consider next time, I guess. Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Mark, for your questions.
And we have actually talked in our organization about, that's our ultimate dream and goal, is that we would have an app, because we realize that, a lot of the people who are booking these services are not even the seniors, it's their children, and so they would love to just have, an app where they could go on and say, yeah, my mom needs meals, and sign her up quickly and easily without having to go through, a whole big process to do that. So, we definitely want to get there, Mark. We just aren't quite sure how to.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess Mark will be more excited.
I'd like to help.
Yeah, he's done so many projects. Well, in the past we have done so many like IT-driven projects. So yeah, he's very
Entrepreneur.
excited. Yeah. Okay, but that's good. Yeah, I think right now it's focused on making the videos. So we can attract people to work for the organization and make it better. And then next time, okay, we can discuss this. Yeah, thank you, Mark, for your great questions. Any other questions from the group, like about the videos? I guess, yeah, from the impression, like some students are really, well, most of students are really excited to get started. So that's a good sign. Okay. Yep. Yeah. I guess if there's no more questions, I think we can call it the end of the day today. And then, we'll be looking forward to your videos, right? With submissions by December 2nd, and then Pam, and then naturally we'll actually watch out these videos and provide any constructive feedbacks so that for you to kind of improve them. Okay.
And if you do have questions, but you just kind of don't want to ask it in this environment, she's going to give you my email. So just email those questions and I can answer them, because I'm sure, you probably do have questions about how you're going to make this video and what the content is going to be and all of those things. So make sure you ask those questions.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for your time, and then actually, and so okay, guys, we'll get in touch again shortly in 2 weeks, 6 weeks. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.